He's the youngest ever recipient of the British Excellence in Sales and Marketing Award, and to date he's reached over 2 million people in 57 countries. The best-selling author of Exactly What to Say, Exactly How to Sell, and Exactly Where to Start, you'll know exactly how to welcome him to stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Phil M. Jones.
Ladies and gents, good morning. Most of my work is operating in and around the area of sales and salesmanship. Show of hands in this room, who said when they were a kid, when I grow up, what I'd like to be as a salesperson? Just the two of you. Figured as much. I want you to have some fun with me for a second. Throw some words at me, some adjectives, some describing words that would describe a stereotypical salesperson. Dodgy, hit me with it. It can be as mean as we like. Keep going. Pushy. Arrogant. What else? A liar, you mean, right? Woo! Uninterested. See, when I ask of you to think about a stereotypical salesperson, that's the image that you see in your mind's eye. They're the words that you reach for. Now I ask another question. How would you feel if somebody used those words to describe you, or somebody saw that image in you when they saw you for the very first time? How would that make you feel? You're like, ugh, get it off me. Yuck. What if by alternative, though, I don't ask you to reach for words that describe a stereotypical salesperson? What if by alternative, I ask you to reach for words that describe a professional salesperson? How do the adjectives now change? Helpful. Say again, empathetic. Honest now and trustworthy. We were a liar a second ago. What else? Knowledgeable. Isn't it funny though, right? Is if somebody used those words to describe you, somebody saw that in you when they saw you for the very first time, that would make you feel remarkably different? See, quite often it's not selling that's the bad thing, it's what people think about salespeople. What people think about the salespeople in your locations is quite often that very first set of adjectives. What I've learned to be true, though, is I promise you that if somebody ever says the words to you that you are a great salesperson, that, my friends, is not a compliment. It means you've been caught trying to sell something to somebody. That's the difference. What else is interesting in that short exercise is this. I changed one word, and you changed all of the words. Why don't I ask some questions of you folks that are questions that are asked in everyday life? Because the worst time to think about the thing you're going to say is in the moment when you're saying it, yes? So why don't I pick on people that avoid eye contact? That's my favorite thing to be able to do down here. Questions that create conversations. What about a question that's asked almost every day? Let's just see how we do with this one. Sir, your name is? Justin. Justin, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Good, thanks. Period. Done. Check it. See, Justin is level 1 experienced at conversation with this simple process. He's like, I know this one. I'm great. Done. Efficient. Let's try somebody else. See if I can get somebody to level 2. Sir, your name is? Peter. Hey, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm very well.
How are you going?
Ah, see, you got level 2. He says, how are you going? I'm good too. Done. Whew, we survived. How often does that happen? That's the entire exchange. Hey, how are you? I'm good. How are you? I'm good too. Done. What do conversations need? Open-ended questions. They need a bounce. Anybody seen a good game of tennis? What made a good game of tennis a good game of tennis?
Rally.
It was the rally, right? It went. Hey, right? That's what we like. Same in our conversations. We like them to go backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Yet quite often what happens is we have efficient conversation as opposed to effective conversation. Let me give you another giant mistake that often happens. Giant mistake. You, sir, tell me about the last place you went on your vacations.
Tasmania.
Tasmania. I've never been to Tasmania. I've spent I've been to Australia, I've been to New Zealand, I've been to South Africa, but I've never been to Tasmania. I mean, 57 countries I've been in fact. Did I tell you I'm a professional speaker? I've been all around the world. I've written 5 best-selling books, and I'm freaking awesome.
I was getting that. What you were doing.
Yeah. See, how does it feel to be on the receiving end of that type of conversation? No thanks, right? No thanks at all. So your name once more time?
John.
John, tell me about the last place you went on your vacation.
Tasmania.
Tasmania, cool. Whereabouts is that?
Down below Victoria. It's the southern part of Australia.
Oh, I don't know Australia that well. I've been to Sydney maybe a couple of times, but what's some of the fun stuff to do down in Tasmania?
Oh, lots of hiking, lots of very pretty state.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's good.
What's some of the prettiest spots?
Cradle Mountain, all
Cra-
those places.
Cradle Mountain, you say those places. I don't know those places.
Racenet, Peninsula.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who'd you travel down with?
I went down with my son and his girlfriend.
Oh, fantastic.
2 weeks. It was great.
Son, wife, and girlfriend? Awesome. So this is me and John in a forced scenario. There's 450 sets of ears listening in. It's a little forced. It's tough. What if me and you were just enjoying a beer? Do you think I'd learn more about Tasmania? Do you think I'd learn more about your family and the situation with your son and his girlfriend, and we'll have a fun time? See, what would happen is I'd get a few levels of questioning in, and John would start to think, this is fun. Tell me about your favorite subject, John. What's your favorite subject?
Sport.
No, it's not. Here's what your favorite subject is. Remember the school photo? What was the first face you looked for? See, if you are your favorite subject, what do you think every one of your customers' favorite subject is? Themselves is easy. See, there was a big difference between conversation 1 and conversation 2. The similarity was, though, is how many questions did I prepare? 1. Where did the rest of my questions come from? From John's answers, which meant I had to do what? Had to listen. See, if you want somebody to consider something and you want to invite them to consider it in a completely rejection-free fashion, instead of asking them if they're interested, what I would do is I'd use these words. The words I would use are the words, I'm not sure if it's for you. See, if I preface an idea to somebody with the words, I'm not sure if it's for you, what does the little voice do? It does 2 things. Here's what happens. If I preface an idea with the words, I'm not sure if it's for you, little voice does this first of all. First of all, it says, well, I'll be the judge of that. What's the second thing it does? Curiosity is piqued. What is it? Right? I now need to know what the thing is. I'm not sure if it's for you, but there's a 3-letter word on the end of this sequence here, a 3-letter word that holds all power, should be avoided from almost every conversation. That 3-letter word, but. See, what does but do in almost every conversation? I'm wondering whether you've ever been in a conversation maybe with a coworker. Perhaps they were giving you some feedback. Maybe they were saying something like, look, I really value your experience and your energy. I know you're trying your best here with what it is that we're working on, but. What do you remember? The but and then everything that follows it. What but does is it negates what was said prior. See, when you say to somebody, I'm not sure if it's for you, but, little voice hears, you probably want to look at this. Hey, I'm not sure if it's for you, but we have a new vehicle coming out in around 12 months' time that could change the game in compact SUVs. I wonder how many Polo drivers right now that are thinking about what happens next when their family gets a little bit bigger. How many are sat there right now thinking, what should we get next when the family grows up a touch? Could you plant ideas in your existing customers' heads by saying, I'm not sure if it's for you, but we have some fantastic new compact SUVs coming out in the next 12 months? Easy to do? Easy not to do? What would happen if you just trained every one of your service personnel to deliver that sequence of words, to plant an idea in somebody's head that grows over a period of time that then almost guarantees a test drive in 8, 10, 12 months from now? I'm not sure if it's for you, but. Hey, I'm not sure if it's for you, but we have some fantastic low-price finance that means that you could get into something a little bigger. Hey, I'm not sure if it's for you, but have you ever considered maybe moving into the 7-seater vehicle? Hey, I'm not sure if it's for you, but what do you know about the differences between us and the Hyundai? See how it gets you into a conversation that sometimes otherwise could have been harder. Let me give you another rejection-free opening formula. Show of hands in this room who sees themselves as open-minded. Take a look around, people. See, what we got is somewhere like more than half the room with their hands up. I'm pretty sure the other people, they wouldn't have raised their hands regardless of what I asked. Even if I offered cake, beer, any of those things, still no hands. See, show of hands for all the people who never show their hands when somebody asks you to show your hands. Some of you are like, I ain't doing that. No one's going to tell me what to do. See, the whole world likes to see themselves as open-minded. Why? Because what's the alternative? It's not even really closed-minded. Have you ever admitted to being closed-minded? I mean, to admit to being closed-minded would be pretty ridiculous. Look how we can use that fact in our conversations. You want to get people to consider your point of view more often? All we're going to do is we're going to insert the fact that almost everybody likes to see themselves as open-minded into the form of a question. Hey, how open-minded would you be to taking the new vehicle for a test drive? How open-minded would you be to sitting down just to show you how affordable this could be as a monthly payment? Hey, how open-minded would you be to maybe putting all your servicing into the deal up front so you didn't have any hidden costs? How open-minded would you be to understanding more about our safety features and how they compare versus your existing product offering? How open-minded would you be to using the how open-minded preface with people in your dealerships? Easy? See, what I love right now is like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of you are like, yoink, I'm having that. Money in words, right? Can make a massive difference. One of the things that I did in the past is I was invited in to be able to help one of the largest independent furniture retail businesses in the UK. They wanted me to help their sales team better overcome the objections that were faced and help grow the revenues of the store, growing average basket size. I said, though, boss, wouldn't it make more sense that instead of me trying to overcome the objection, we just prevent the objection from coming in the first place? He said, I got no idea what you mean, Phil. I said, well, think of it this way. Instead of trying to put out the fire, what if what I can do is I can find the guy who was going to light the fire and I can steal the matchbox from his pocket before he leaves the house? He said, I've still got no idea what you mean. I said, well, let's look at it this way. You're in the world of furniture. What are the 2 biggest profit drivers that impact upon your business? And I found out them to be fabric protection on couches and footstools, little ottomans, upholstered boxes that would go alongside. Those 2 things would drive more profit than often the transaction itself. It was the extras. Familiar with how extras can drive more profit than the core product? Funny, right? Huge similarities. I said to them, what was the most common objection you get for why somebody didn't want their fabric professionally sealed at the factory? Any idea what the most common objection would be as to what customers would say as to why they didn't want their fabric professionally sealed? They would say, we're dead careful, we don't eat and drink on our furniture. Show of hands in this room who's never had a glass of wine, TV dinner, tray on the lap, never sat down on the couch and eaten. And people say that salespeople are liars? My experience is customers aren't always so good at telling the truth. Trouble is, though, is if customer says, I don't eat and drink on my furniture, can I say, well, you should probably have it protected? See, if a customer says something, it must be true, whereas if you say, it might not be. What do you think the most common reason was as to why somebody wouldn't want a footstool? What do you think they might say as their excuse? They'd say, I've not got the space, not got the room. Having never seen their room, could I say, well, of course you do. Everybody does. See, if they say they've not got the room, I've got to believe them, right? If a customer says something, it must be true. If I say it might not be. Success in selling isn't about making yes sound better. It's about destroying the option of no. So I thought, what if I could just get people to stop saying those common excuses? What would that do to conversion rates? Here's the result that we achieved. We moved average transaction value in stores from around £800 per customer to over £1,500 per customer. That's the result we hit, almost doubling the average transaction value. How did we do it? I wrote intelligent questions. Here are the questions I wrote. Apart from yourself, who will be using the furniture? What would customers say? They'd say me, the wife, the kids, the dog. I'd follow it with a leading question whilst nodding. I'd say what? And a spot of entertaining? What do you think everybody said to the what and a spot of entertaining question? Everybody says, sure. See, nobody admits to having no friends. I'd say, is it going in your best room or your everyday room? Do I mind which one they pick? Best room or everyday room? Doesn't matter, does it? Best room needs to continually look at its best. Everyday room's going to take a hammering. I'm in great shape either way. I say, how long did you have your last piece of furniture for? Again, it didn't matter what they answered. 3 years, 5 years, 15 years. I'd follow it by saying, I guess you're looking for this one to last the same time or longer. What did everybody say? Sure. So what I've got is I've got people admitting that they use their furniture for entertaining. They want it to last a long time and it's going in the best room. Am I in good shape to recommend fabric protection? Trouble is, though, I don't like good shape. What Phil Jones likes instead is I like certainty. Certainty is my preference over good shape, so I learned one more question. prefaced by another set of magic words. I learned that if I could preface something with the words, I bet you're a bit like me, I can get just about anybody to agree to just about anything, providing I'm reasonable. I bet you're a bit like me, enjoy getting home from work, grabbing a beer and sitting down on the couch. Yeah, that's me. I bet your household's just like mine, never finds time for a proper family meal around the table as a group. More often than not, it's a tray on your lap in front of the box. Yeah. Even if it's not true to the person, they're like, that's reasonable. Yeah, that could be true. Can they tell me they do not eat and drink on their furniture, having nodded and smiled along to that series of questions? Still got this footstool to deal with though, right? What am I scared they might say? Scared they might say I've not got the room. How do I deal with that? Well, I've got to come straight for it. This best room of yours, how big's the room? Now they tell me. 3 by 7, 15 by 2, 48 by 11. Didn't matter what they say. I'd say, wow, that's a fair size room. How big is a fair size room? It's a fair size, right? A fair size. I've got more chance of getting installed in a fair size room than me labeling it otherwise. I'd say, you're buying a 3-seater and a 2-seater couch. How are you going to lay it out in the room? They'd try and describe it for me. I'd play dumb. I'd say, can you draw it? Put a piece of paper in front of them. They'd start to draw the room. Do you know what every human being on the planet does other than architects? The room grows and the furniture shrinks. They're creating space for me in the diagram. As they're doing the diagram, I'm asking more questions. I'm saying, when you're entertaining, what do you do for extra chairs? They say, well, there's people on the floor. We're dragging chairs around from other rooms. I say, what about storage? They say, we could always use room for extra storage. Am I in good shape to recommend a footstool? Pretty good shape. But I don't like good shape, do I? What do I prefer? Certainty. So I wrote the best question of my career. There'll be 3 people in the room that get just how good this question is. The rest of you will miss it. I'm okay with that. I'm going to tell you because it makes me feel happy. Best question I ever wrote came at this precise point in conversation. Christmas time, where's the tree go? Why would I ask that question? Just found the space for the footstool for 11 months of the year, didn't I? What did that power of questioning allow me to do? It allowed me to be able to get to the end of that series of questions and say, because of the fact that you said that you're often entertaining, struggling for extra chairs, for those reasons, what most people do is they have a footstool. Because of the fact that you said that you want this to last a long time, it's going in your best room, what you might want to do is you might want to have your fabric professionally sealed at the factory. Try and tell me that's not a good idea. Here's what it did to conversion rates. Fabric protection used to run at 60%. Where did it rise to? Only 95. Footstools running at 25%. Where did it rise to? Only 40%. I tell you that why? Because it's not everybody. It allowed me to say things like, because of the fact that you're putting this couch in your kid's bedroom and you've got no extra room, you probably don't want a footstool. And they go, you're right, I don't. Because it's done with integrity. Why else do I tell you that? Is there's nothing that I'm sharing with you today that works with all of the people all the time. Nothing. Just things that work with more of the people more of the time, and the compound effect is between a good year and a great year. That's the difference. So ladies and gents, I've been Phil Jones. I wish you every piece of success that you're prepared to work for. Thank you very much.